Hey guys, so I am wearing my glasses again today, so I'm sorry about the annoying glare that's in them, but just gonna have to deal with it because I've been having really bad allergies and sinuses and stuff, so it like makes my eyes have like all this stuff in them, and so putting my contacts in just irritates them more with all that going on. If I so I'd rather just wear my glasses and not have my eyes hurt, because I'm already dealing with like my throat's kind of sore and my nose is stuffed up and I have sinus headaches. So I had to run out earlier, and I ran out in my pajamas and I went to the dollar store and got some Kleenexes and some medicine. So thankfully I'm off work today, so I'm just gonna stay home and try to get better. Probably just read and watch TV and play my 3DS games because that's what I do. But yeah, so I am doing my top 16 of 2016 today. I didn't want to put it off anymore, even though I don't feel that great because it's already the 28th. So, and I'm about to have to do like my wrap up for December. So I wanted to go ahead and get this video out of the way. And like I want to film, and I wanted to film. It's just I just don't feel fantastic. So, but we're gonna push through, and we are going to do this top video. So. I did rank them, but it was a very quick ranking, so just bear that in mind. So at number 16, we have The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. This is the first one, Cinder, but I read the entire Lunar Chronicles, including Fairest and Stars Above, this year, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic. I love all the characters, and I love the adventure, and I am not a big sci-fi person, but I was all about the sci-fi stuff in here. It was really great, and I thought that I wouldn't like this because of the whole cyborg thing, because it sounded weird to me, but I finally picked it up one day, and I literally read this book in a day, in one day. I sat down, started reading it, and just kept going until I finished, so I really thoroughly enjoyed this series, and I'm excited that I read it and that I own them all and I can reread them whenever, and I'm really happy that I did pick up this series and give it a chance because it became one of my all-time favorites. So, at number 15 we have Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I read this back in like April, and I read this in like 2 days, and I loved it because I am very obsessed with video games, and this is all about video games, and it's very Sword Art Online-y, which is one of my favorite animes that's also about video games and all that. So it spoke to a lot of the nerd in me, and I really enjoyed it, and it made me so happy and excited about just all the stuff in here, and I really do want to reread this at some point. I was going to read it for the rereadathon, but then life happened, but I do hope that I get to read this sometime in 2017, because I just remember how much I loved it, and it was great, and I need to pick up some more of Ernest Cline's other books, because he's a fantastic author. So, yep. Alright, and then at number 14 we have Malice by John Gwynne. I actually read this and the second book, Valor, this year. It's in the Faithful and the Fallen series, and it is fantastic. It is epic high fantasy, and it's got like all these amazing elements. There's tons and tons of characters, so much so that there has to be a character index at the beginning of every book so that you don't forget who everybody is, and multiple perspectives, and I love the way that it's told, and I love that you get not just the perspective, like you get the perspectives of all these characters that are on all these different sides, because this is a huge war going on, and it's from all kinds of sides of the war, so you get everybody's perspective, so you're not just, like, you could root for whoever you wanted to, so it's not like you're only getting, like, one perspective, like the good perspective, like you're getting everybody's perspective, and I really like that. And there's like morally ambiguous characters in here, and not everybody's like, all good or all bad or whatever, and I really, really, really enjoy this series. I have the third and fourth one, and I need to read them. It's just, they're all really huge. The third one is like ridiculously huge, and I was gonna read it for Tome Topple, but Outlander took me like a week to read because of how dense it was, so I just haven't gotten to it yet. But that is something I'm hoping to read in 2017, is to finish the Faithful and the Fallen series, because it is just absolutely fabulous, and I'm just so happy that I've at least read the first two, and I can't wait to continue. So yeah. All right. Sorry, I'm having trouble with the numbers now. Okay, 16, 15, that was 14. So this is 13. Sorry about that. I told you, I am sick today, so I'm not doing a great job. But yeah, number 13 is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare, and I really enjoyed this. I had already read all of the Infernal Devices and all the Mortal Instruments, except the last one. I actually read City of Heavenly Fire this year, and then I read the Shadowhunter Tales, and then I picked up Lady Midnight, and I gotta tell you, I found myself in love with this story, and just so happy about how things played out, and I really love some of the characters in here, like, a lot. And I also love the fact that we got like a bunch of like little Easter eggs basically about the characters from the Mortal Instruments, because they're all kind of throughout this book. They get so many references and all these things, and it's just really, really cool how how well thought out this book was and everything. And I can't wait for Lord of Shadows to come out so that I can continue on, because this was just absolutely fabulous, and the ending was like, oh my god. So I'm like ready to have the next one, because I can't even believe all of the things that happened in this book. And yeah, and I'm a big Mark fan, just by the way. I love him to death. He is beautiful. So, but yeah, this was an amazing, amazing book. And like I said, I'm excited for the next one. Okay. Coming in at number 12 is The Star-Touched Queen by Roshani Chokshi. And I think I read this in like a day and a half, and I really, really, really enjoyed this. It's all about this girl who has been told her entire life that if she gets married, her marriage is basically going to end in like death. So, and she's basically the princess, and so they basically plan to never have her get married, and she's totally all for that, because she's very independent, and she's very into like studying and doing her own thing, and you know, she's very into that kind of thing. She doesn't want to have the whole husband trying to tell her what she should do or any of that. She just wants to be free to live her life, so she's very okay with this. But then her father ends up telling her that he does have to marry her off and all this stuff, and she's really upset about it. It's basically for like an alliance for their, you know, kingdom or whatever, but it turns out to be a trap, and all this stuff happens, but it is absolutely fabulous, and I love it. And I was really excited because this was an amazing book, and they said it was a standalone, but it turns out it's actually going to have a companion novel come out, I think in 2017. And I'll probably end up picking it up, but I'm just kind of upset because this was just so great, and one of the big things about it was that it was a standalone fantasy, and that, you know, she was able to write this amazing fantasy story in like, this isn't even long, it's not even 400 pages, it's like 335 pages. And she was able to, you know, do that, and that was amazing. But it turns out, you know, there's going to be another one, which is a companion novel, so it's not a direct sequel, but it's still kind of like, So, but I'm excited. I'm ready to read the next one. I'm not like super anticipating it, but so like I probably won't pre-order it or anything. But if I can get it like on Amazon cheap a few months after, or like if I have Amazon credit for it, I'll probably do that. But this was a really amazing book. The language in here is so beautiful. There's some really memorable quotes. I very much enjoyed this book, and I'm excited to see what else this author does in the future. So, okay. Alright, and number 11 is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Now this I really enjoyed, and It's like a retelling of like Persophocles or I can't pronounce his name to save my life. Patroclus, and Theseus. And it's like a retelling of them, and basically they actually fall in love, and it was just amazing. And it breaks your heart so much, and the ending is just so, like, it is an amazing, amazing book, and I just can't even with this. I remember, I think I finished this in like a day, and I was just a sobbing mess after I finished it, and I just could not believe how amazing and how thought-provoking it was, and it really makes you want to go back and like reread like the Iliad and all that stuff, and like, you know, like remind yourself of what actually went down so that you can like maybe see all the little clues like to go with this. And it was really, really great, and I'm really happy that I read this year. And yeah, it's just absolutely fabulous, and I hope that and honestly, I do not see anything else by Madeline Miller. Like, I looked her up on Goodreads, and I cannot find any other work by her, and I'm like, can you please write something else, because I love your writing, and I just want more of it. So, Madeline Miller, write some more books. I need them in my life. So, anyway, but yeah, I really, really, really enjoyed this, and I just... This is another book I would really love to reread in 2017. If that can happen, that would be great. So, all right. The next book that, number 10 on my list is My Lady Jane by Brody Ashton, Cynthia Han, and Jodi Meadows. This I read actually in October, so it's actually more recent, and I loved this book to pieces. Just loved it to freaking pieces. And I honestly didn't expect to love it as much as I did. When I first finished it, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, but then, like, I was thinking about it, like, days and days afterwards. I ended up bumping up to 5 stars, because that normally doesn't happen that much, like, where I just think about the book, like, for days and weeks afterwards. But I think about this book even now in December. I'm still thinking about it sometimes, and I can't even believe that it actually exists, because it's so good. Like, it is hilarious for one thing, and like the idea behind it is completely weird, and it seems like it wouldn't work, but it completely works for some reason. And my heart loves this book so much, and I urge every one of you to go read it, because it's just fabulous. It's fabulous. But it's like it's about, you know, it's about Jane, the 9-day queen, but basically the first half is like pretty close to history with some fantasy elements mixed in, and then the second half they just do what they want to do to kind of like give Jane like a good kind of ending, like a good lasting history thing. And I love how they did it, how they took it and spun it on its head and completely did their own thing. It was just fabulous, and I'm really excited for all 3 of these to just write something else together, because they do talk about that they probably will, and I'm ready for whatever they tackle, because they're amazing. They are an amazing trio to be writing together, and I'm very excited. Also, it makes me want to pick up some of their individual work, because I haven't done that, so I really want to do that so that I can see what they all are like by themselves. So, yeah. Alright. I am running out of breath because I'm talking so fast and because I'm sick, so I need to calm down. Number 9 on my list is Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. Now this is the 5th book in the Throne of Glass series, and let me tell you, it was amazeballs, and I'm so happy that I read it. And it looks a lot thinner than like Queen of Shadows and Heir of Fire, but it's actually longer. It's just got those really thin pages, which kind of annoy me, because I like the Throne of Glass books being like really beefy, but that's okay. The cover is beautiful. I absolutely love it, and I love this book. And a lot of people are talking, like, saying that they didn't really like this book, and that they felt like it was more of just a filler book and all this stuff. And I'm just like, what? Because I thought it was great, and I was on the edge of my seat quite a few times during this book, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. But I am one of those people that does like a slower read sometimes, especially with something like this where there's like a lot of intense stuff going on like all the time, so to go slower with it just makes more sense. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and obviously it's on my top 16 list, so I think it was amazing. And I think Sarah J. Maas can like do no wrong, because fabulous, just fabulous. And I can probably guess what my next book is. Okay. Number 8 is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series trilogy. It was going to be a trilogy, but now it is going to be a series. We're not sure how many books, but we do know it's going to be a series. And the first one was good. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. But this one is just like, it's like the first one on crack and then times by 100, and it's just fabulous. And I really loved how the Night Court was and how it was described, and like squad goals for real on the Night Court, because they are fabulous human beings. And I just remember I was reading this and I just couldn't even believe all the things that were happening. Like, my mind was blown so many times while reading this book, and the ending was insane, and just I loved it so much, and I cannot wait for A Court of Wings and Ruin. I'm just way too excited about it, and I really can't wait until it happens. So yeah. Okay, so number 7 on my list I do not have a physical copy of, because it is something that I got from my library, and it is Storybook of Legends. It's this entire little series by Shannon Hale, and it's fabulous. And I realize I have said fabulous about 50 times in this video, and I'm so sorry, but it's just my word, I guess, today. I don't know. But it's all about heroes and villains going to this school. It's basically like the kids of like Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, the Evil Queen, Hansel and Gretel kids, all those, well, not like Hansel and Gretel together, but like, you know, like their children, but whatever. It's basically like them going to a school, and basically the Storybook of Legends is this book that they have to sign that basically says that they will take on their parents' legacy, and they will be their generation of Snow White or the Evil Queen or all this. And there's this character, Raven Queen, who is supposed to be the next Evil Queen, but she doesn't want to because she's not evil. And it's a really good series, and I really enjoyed it. And I just found it really funny and fast-paced and a very different change of pace, and I just thought it was really good, and I wish that there was more, but there's not. There is like one other book that I could probably read, but it's more of like a companion. It's not really like another story thing in it, but you know, what can you do? Okay. The number 6 is going to be the Captive Prince trilogy by C.S. Pacat, which I ended up reading all 3 books, I want to say, in like the span of 2 weeks, because I ended up getting them all from my digital library, and they were amazing. And I just remember being completely enthralled by them, and the first book was not that great, I'll admit, but the second and the third one just blew me out of the water, and I just love the fact that it is a very slow burn romance. It's an LGBTQ plus main character book, basically. And I just loved how diverse it was. I loved how different it was. You never really have a book where it's like fantasy and princes and all that stuff and like gay princes, you know? You do not get that. So to get that was just really amazing and different, and I really applaud that because it was just great. But yeah, I loved that trilogy. Like I said, I read it so quickly, because if you know me, I do not marathon series. I never marathon series unless they're like way up here. Like, they have to be amazing for that to happen. So for me to do that just proves how great it really was. And then number 5 is The Dark Days Club by Alison Goodman, which is basically a like an Victorian era London, and it's about this woman who finds herself kind of swept up in like this demon hunting kind of thing. It's a lot like the Infernal Devices in ways, but it's also its own thing, and I just found it really amazing. And I'm really excited for the next one to come out, which I just realized I don't even know when that's happening, so I really need to research that and see. This is also a book I got from my library, which is why I do not have a physical copy, but like I said, it was just amazing. So, number 4 on my list is Crystal Storm by Morgan Rhodes. This was one of my highly anticipated releases of this year. And it actually came out in December, and I read it like literally the day it came out, and that day after, and then I finished it. And the ending has killed me, and I cannot wait for the next book because, oh my god, I am so upset with what happened. I can't even believe it. So yeah, pretty upsetting, but I'm really excited for the final book to come out, which isn't going to happen until next December, so I got an entire year to wait, but just can't wait. I'm so excited, and I love this series with all my heart. It's just absolutely fabulous. It's so good. So good. Alright, and then number 3 on my list is Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. Now, this was fantastic. Like, oh my god. And it took me a little while to actually read just because of how dense it was, but, like, it was freaking amazing. Just so good. So good. And, like, I remember people telling me it was, like, basically what sold me on this book was Hogwarts for assassins. And I'm just like, sold! I am there. I am so there right now. So, that's what got me hooked on this book. And I completely agree with that tagline. It's completely, totally relevant for this, and I loved this book. I love the characters. I love everything about it, and I cannot wait for the next one to come out. The writing style is completely different. Like, it's got footnotes and all these things in it, and I really enjoyed how it was told. I think the writing style is very different and refreshing, and I absolutely loved it personally. And I think everybody should at least give it a shot. I understand if you cannot get into it because of the writing style, because it is very different than anything else, and it's pretty difficult to get into. So if you can't, that's okay, but you're going to be missing out because this is so amazing. So amazing. So I would suggest everybody at least try it and see if you can get through it because it's so worth it. So worth it. My number 2, and this I actually read very recently, within the last week or so, and that is Between Two Thorns by Emma Newman. This is the first book in the Split Worlds series, which I have also read the second one, because as soon as I finished this one, I went back to the store and bought the second one, and the third and fourth one were there, but I didn't have enough money to buy them, and I am literally trying to talk myself out of going today to get them, because I just am obsessed. It's about, basically, it's about this Fae society that is separate from Mundanus, which is where all the Mundanes live, which is the human world. It's called the Nether. It's in between the two worlds, the Mundanus and Excalium, which is where the Fae Lords live. In Nether is where, like, basically the people that serve the Fae Lords, the Fae, live, and Kathy, our main character, is one of them, but she ran away to Mundanus because basically the women there are still treated like it's the 1920s in England, and they have to get married and have children and just run a household. But in Mundanus, it is modern day, right now, And anyway, she gets dragged back there by her family's patron, Fae Lord Poppy, and it's really good. It's got arranged marriages and all these things, and I'm so obsessed. And you follow a lot of other characters besides just Kathy. You follow Max, you follow Sam, and you follow Will, And I just love how this story is told, and I just love the story, and I love the characters, and I love the plot, and I love the humor, and I love everything about it. It's just so good. And I really can't wait to get the third and fourth one and read them. And I basically would marathon this series if I had the other books. No lie, because they're just that good. And that means something, because I don't do that, so yeah. And then my very top book of 2016. This video is so long, and I'm so tired. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child by J.K. Rowling, Jack Thorne, and John Tiffany. Now, there's a bunch of controversy over this book in the community. A lot of people say that they did not enjoy this because it's in script form and they wish it had been in novel form, because of plot holes, because of all these other things, and I can totally see where they're coming from. Yes, this has flaws, but you guys, you have to understand that this is more Harry Potter. Like, this is actually another story about Harry Potter. And I just feel like I need to very loudly say these things, because I don't think any of that has gotten through people's heads, because it is Harry freaking Potter. And I absolutely loved this so much. I pre-ordered it on Amazon, so it got here the day it came out. As soon as it got here, I opened it up, I sat down, and I read it straight for 2 hours. I didn't get up to go to the bathroom, to get a drink, to do anything. I literally sat and read until I finished this book. That is how much I was invested and how much I love this story, and it was amazing in my opinion. I was so obsessed. Now, like I said, I do recognize its flaws, I do see the plot holes and everything, but you have to remember that J.K. Rowling herself said that the perfect medium for this was a play. So, and I understand that some people cannot afford to go to the play in London. I, however, am going to be able to go. I am going in March to London to see this play, and I'm so incredibly excited, and I wish I could take just all the Harry Potter fans with me and we could go and just love it together, but unfortunately can't do that. But I love this. It's my top favorite book of the year. I just thought it was fantastic, and I loved that Draco Malfoy was in it and all of the things that happened with him. I loved seeing all my favorite characters back. I loved seeing Albus Servaeus and Scorpius Malfoy's relationship. I loved seeing Hogwarts again. Hello Hogwarts, amazing. And there were people I wish had been in here that did not appear, but at the same time, I understand why they couldn't. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was amazing. You're free to have whatever opinion you have. I, however, very much enjoyed this. Best book of the year. Just so happy that we got more Harry Potter. And no matter what, no matter how you feel about this, I'm sure everybody can agree. Every Potterhead, we got more material, and that is a freaking miracle, and that is something to be happy about. No matter how you feel about it, that is something to be happy about, because it just renews hope. It renews hope that we might even get more later on, and there is nothing that could be more powerful than that, I feel. Now, I hope that the next Potterhead stuff that we get, I really want a prequel series about the Marauders. That is what I want. I want a young Sirius Black. I need a young Sirius Black in my life more than anything else. So J.K. Rowling, if you love me, if you love the Potterheads, please do it. Even if you don't, I'm still gonna love you, obviously, but I'm just saying, young Sirius Black is just my heart's dream and desires and everything. If I looked in the mirror of Erised, that is what I would see. Would be an entire story about a young Sirius Black. Just saying. So, Alright guys, that was my top 16 of 2016. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you give me props for doing this while I'm sick, because now my throat is literally aching and it feels like sandpaper. So I'm gonna go and lay back down, drink something, and hopefully feel better. Hope you guys have a really great day, and I hope that you guys have a good new year, and that 2017 is better than 2016 was, because you gotta realize 2016 sucks because we got a lot of amazing people taken away from us. Mainly Alan Rickman and Carrie Fisher, just dead. I'm dead, is what I'm saying. Well, you know what I'm saying. Like, my heart hurts because of these losses, and I just hope that 2017 is nicer to us and it doesn't take away any of the beautiful people that we have come to love. So, that's all I gotta say. I'm gonna go now because, again, sandpaper throat, but hope you guys have a good one, and I will see you later.